So as we're looking at the different facilities, the things that we can have here are obviously your weights, sports science, dryland, or actually this would be Dale, dryland training. You could probably swap these. And you would need medical facilities and even doping. All right, doping, it would be an area that we'd set up for competitions where athletes would get tested. Medical facilities, that includes first aid. And as we just swap this here, you have your physiotherapy in different clinics in here. Not saying it has to be here, it could be somewhere else, but a room for dry land, and here you have your weights and training. All right. And again, on the other end of the pool, under the stands, you just divide it, changing rooms, so you got your men and your women. And then there'd be access out, points out, and they get to the seating areas, to the deck, to the pool, which would be right there. All right. So we looked at building our venues. We looked at how we do it over a number of years. Again, what we do is we have a capital campaign in place, pardon me, over a 5-year plan to get 10 million a year for the 50 million a year. So we looked at building. Now we have to look at development. With the different programs from swimming, which is your main driver, then you have, in no particular order, water polo, synchro, diving, and putting this in there for the try guys, triathlons. Again, this is just some of the aquatic sports. What we definitely need to do is we have to look at the club development here. All right. Again, swimming is good, but we need to focus on building the capacity of the swimmers, giving them the opportunity to develop at the highest possible performance they can, and working with the clubs and giving them the tools to do that, which is found through the pool. Again, with water polo, we do have a community here. It needs to be rebuilt, strengthened, and this will develop again over 5 years, along with synchro, diving, and then triathlons. We have a stellar triathlon community, working with OAT, and from there, we just need to get, again, all these people, give them the venue and the facilities to develop their skills and get them to the highest level of podium they can. All right. Now that's just the community, and what we're going to look at now is development of our volunteers. All right. So look, when we host different events, all right, volunteers have the opportunity, if it's, for example, getting community hours for high school, internship programs, volunteer work placements, or just generally helping out in the community. They really develop the skills in different areas, from operations to marketing, to help with hosting major events. When we host a major event, we actually have a pool of volunteers, all right, and we need to continuously build this volunteer base, and we need to get people from becoming a general volunteer to becoming key volunteers for different events. What am I talking about? This is a general volunteer, to be the person that puts in 2 4-hour shifts, handing out tickets to people that are leading events, the organizers that oversee the volunteer development. All right. So when we look at the second phase of this plan, from 2016 to 2021, we definitely need to develop our volunteer base through the different events and work with our governing bodies in the local community to enrich them and give them opportunities to develop their infrastructure to increase their sports, their programming, and their ability to deliver sports at the highest level possible. And the last part we'll look at is hosting. All right. So going back to this lovely drawing here, right? In advance, the first few years we need to identify and host events. Work with our communities, again, that we know we have strong communities. Obviously baseball, we have a tremendous community here in Windsor-Essex County, so we just continue that. But we look at different sports that we can host events, from boxing to hockey to basketball. Those are just a few examples, and we help really develop them and host. It could be everything from OFSA to OUA championships, and from there we look at, as they develop their volunteer base and they improve their skills, then we begin to look at hosting the bigger events. All right. So with that being said, what we're looking at now, between 2011 in 2016, what we do is we host the smaller events. Well, I apologize. It could be hosting just development competitions up to larger events, which are at the provincial level. And we improve our volunteer base. We improve our ability to host events. And we improve sport development. So it's plus, plus, plus. From 2016 to 2021, now we're hosting national events. All right. So again, now that we have the 50-meter pool, during this first period here, we submit bid submissions, and every different event has a cycle for their bids. Some have already been appointed on a 2 to 4 year cycle. Usually for the provincial level, it's 1 to 2 years. National level, it can sometimes be 2 years in advance, depending on the sport, 2 to 4 years. And then obviously, when we get to the international level, then we're looking at 4-year plans and above. All right. So during 2011 and 2016, when we're focusing on provincial events, and we're hosting those events to improve everything as mentioned prior, we're looking at hosting now, during this period, national events. So we identify what events we can host in this period, and we start submitting bids for this. These ones we've hosted in the past are the baseball national championships. So again, now we're looking at, as it pertains to the pool, we're looking at Swim Canada national championships. We're looking at, if depending on a university program, if that was to be reinstalled, we're looking at CIS national championships, and then we're looking at different sports. So in this level, again, 2016-2021, we're hosting national events and provincial events. And again, we're continuously improving all areas of sport development, from our athletes to community to volunteers to organizers, and we're improving our infrastructure. And what's this all leading up to? We're going to host international events. All right, and this is going to be 2021 onward. All right, so now we have the infrastructure in place. All right. And we're looking at different events. During the second phase of this period, when we're hosting these national events, we're looking at hosting international events. We've brought people up the scale, we've developed their skills, and we're continuously doing that. We've improved infrastructure for our sports, we have the technical requirements, we're hosting successful events all along the way, and during this period here, we're looking at hosting different events. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Commonwealth Games. That should be our vision of the best event we want to host. Right now, all the Commonwealth Games the bid submissions are already in. They're hosting events up past the 2020s. So we need to be looking at hosting an event such as this during this time. Right? Moving backwards, somewhere in between 2016 and 2021, we should look at hosting a games like the North American Indigenous Games, or something that it's like a test event for Commonwealth Games, all right? And we're improving this infrastructure, and this is what we're doing. We're hosting a big, sweet event like that. So, going back to the original plan, and we have our building, our development, and our hosting, all right? And what does this all include by post 2020? We've rebranded our community into an amateur sporting region of excellence. We've improved quality of life for nearly 4,000 of our residents and the surrounding communities, and also we've improved infrastructure for our amateur governing bodies and ultimately for our athletes. All right. So everything has to be focused on what's best for the community. All right. What's best for us to rebrand our region. All right. And this is what we need to really do. And this area, all of this is only one part of a strategic plan potentially considered by the city. But we need to rebrand our whole region, and we need to get out there and just do it. From there, when we're doing this, when we're improving everything for sports, amateur sports, improving quality of life, through hosting events, what are we doing? We're improving the economy. We're having stimulus funds coming in. We're creating jobs, and yeah, remind myself not to write if I work for you guys, and you'll probably just get sick of me typing. But we're creating jobs, we're improving our volunteer development, and we're building our community base. All right. So we need to do all of this in place We need to have the infrastructure and the programs in place to unite the communities, to have a community voice. We need a mechanism to go out and attract those events while working with the community to build everything internally. And we need to be communicating well between tourism, Parks and Rec, and all the way up the ladder, right? Because ultimately, say for example, when we're looking at different events, this here is going to be working with the entire City of Windsor, right? We're going to be relying on different resources, and we're going to be working with these organizations here to host successful events. So money will come in, tourism, the output will go out, and we've made everyone happy. All right. So this was just some snippets. Again, it's a little bit all over the place, but hopefully it gave you some information. And to my fellow swimmers, as you know, I've already submitted my volunteer interest to help out in fundraising for this event. I've worked with several people from the city in the past on major projects, built a sport complex myself. I have no 50 million doesn't scare me. I know that if we have the proper people in place and we have results-driven oriented people that are dedicated to their community and have a passion for community building and excellence, we'll get it done. All right, so we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.